beautiful, Micah. And RC, I need you to build the drama for me. What's the bigger deal from last night? Is it the Packers' dominance, or is it seeing Jayden look pedestrian?
I mean, it's the Packers' dominance. Listen, we've seen so many great quarterbacks have tough nights, have tough weeks, but that normally happens when you're playing against exceptional defenses. And I want you to think about this. When we watch Brett Favre running down the sideline, holding his hands up in the air as Desmond Howard ran a 100-yard kickoff into the end zone, they had that Lombardi because on the other side, there was a man named Reggie White, the minister of defense. When we saw Aaron Rodgers be absolutely phenomenal against the Pittsburgh Steelers and that defense in 2010-2011 Super Bowl, yeah, he was great. But they had Charles Woodson, and they had Clay Matthews, and they had Nick Collins, who had a pick six. Defense does win championships, and I disagree with Micah when he says that I know fans like to see the points. Yeah, the fans of Green Bay love to see the points, but they love to see dominant defense. And I talked to Matt LaFleur this offseason. There's a new trophy case in Green Bay, and there's an empty spot in that trophy case. All the rest of the spots have Lombardis. He said he wanted them to start this season with the end in mind, with the destination in mind, and he wanted them to play every single night. Like everything they were doing was to get another Lombardi trophy in Titletown. And when you watched that team play last night, it wasn't just about winning that game, it was about dominating that game. And that's why that's the bigger deal for me, because that's the thing that says to me that the Green Bay Packers are true Super Bowl contenders.
Cam?
Yeah, I'm looking at a situation where I'm really concerned about Jayden Daniels, and then obviously seeing Austin Eckler go down, which is a safety valve for you. Zach Ertz is on the back end of his career. When you look at Deebo Samuels, I want them to use Deebo Samuels like a receiver and not just a glorified gadget player. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at Terry McLaurin. Hey, bro, like, you're getting paid top 10 money. Like, we need you to perform, not getting covered by guys that should not on paper be covering you as good as they were. So, yes, were the Green Bay Packers dominant? Absolutely. Are they looking like one of the premier teams in the NFL? Absolutely. But also, leading up until this season, we were talking so much about Jayden Daniels. And the thing about, just expectations is, when you're going into your second season as, coming off a very successful rookie campaign, you have film. My challenge is not just to Jayden Daniels, but it's also what, like I just said earlier, it's about Cliff Kingsbury to really get into his bag, to really upgrade the software, not just from the philosophical standpoint, but also from the personnel standpoint that Jayden Daniels has at his disposal.
SA?
RC's not wrong, but I'm going to go with Cam on this for a different kind of reason. We came into this season wondering who's going to be that team challenging the Philadelphia Eagles. We walk away with thinking that the Commanders ain't going to be one of them. Even though the Packers have Micah Parsons and their defense has been upgraded because of him, without him, we looked at them and we said, all right, if Jordan Love is that dude, they got all the pieces there in place to really, really challenge and make some noise in the NFC. We don't know about Detroit. We don't know about the back of Matthew Stafford. We see Baker Mayfield doing this thing in Tampa, but we wonder whether or not they can really, really elevate to that level. So we had the Packers in the mix. But we also had the Commanders because they were in the NFC Championship game last year, and Jayden Daniels was an absolute stud. And so we're looking at them now and we're saying, is Washington really good enough That's the question that we're asking ourselves, because RC, I don't think you're saying Jayden Daniels, I don't know about him right now. I don't think that's a question mark for you. I don't think that's a question mark for you, Cam. I think that when we saw the NFC Championship game, one of the things that we marveled at in Philadelphia, romping them and putting up 50-plus points in the NFC Championship game, we said the only person that really showed up for Washington in that game was the rookie. It was all the veterans that didn't show up, but the rookie did. And so this is not a question about him, but it is a question about the Commanders and what they really have, what they've really put together compared to what a Green Bay has, to what a LA may potentially have. And I think that's what we're looking at right now.
Stephen A., I love the fact that you hit the point of the NFC Championship, because I do think that is the thing that makes last night's performance sort of eye-popping for Washington, even though I think it's a bigger statement by Green Bay, because it's this. So much of Washington's success last year was how great Jayden Daniels was. It was how big he was in fourth quarter comebacks, how big he was in the clutch moments like the fourth down where he stiff arms a defensive tackle from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs to win in the wild card round. It was all those things he was able to do, the big pass to De'Ami Brown against the Detroit Lions. And so we watched him show up against Philadelphia, and you started to think to yourself, is the rest of this team good enough? And so now what we're asking of Jayden Daniels is to be just as good, if not better, this year. But much to Cam's point, Cliff Kingsbury has to help with that. I do think Deebo Samuel still has juice in the tank. When you look at what he's done in the first 2 weeks with the football in his hands, I think he's shown that he can be a valuable part of this offense. How do we get Terry McLaurin involved? And is Ja'Cory Krosky merit a good enough back to be a number one? There are some things this team has to prove, but it starts with Jayden Daniels playing above and beyond, and that's difficult week in and week out.
Cam?
Man, that's extremely difficult asking still a young quarterback. And I just know the pressure. I know when you're asking a player to not only play and uphold your end of the bargain, but go over and beyond with compensating for other players. When I'm looking at this roster right here, and the Green Bay Packers have done an unbelievable job with drafting these players, and they're getting the bang on their buck, or as they call it, homegrown players. When I look at Romeo Doubs, he was drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Matthew Golden, drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Malik Heath, Jayden Reed, obviously got hurt last night, but Dontavion Wicks, and obviously those tight ends. Where are we going to see Noah Brown? Are we going to see Luke McCaffrey? Are we going to see Jalen Lane, really step up and uphold their end of the bargain, for the Washington Commanders?